In the heart of a remote village, nestled deep within an ancient forest, there was a crumbling tower known as the Sorcerer's Lair. Legend whispered that the sorcerer who once resided there had been a master of dark and forbidden arts. No one had seen him for centuries, but the stories of his malevolent power persisted. One stormy night, a young scholar named Eliza ventured into the forest, driven by curiosity and a desire to uncover the truth behind the sorcerer's life. Armed with only a lantern and a journal, she approached the eerie, vine-covered tower. As Eliza stepped inside, the air grew colder. The tower's interior was filled with dusty tomes and eerie artifacts. In the center of the room was an ornate mirror, its surface fogged with age. As Eliza approached it, she noticed something peculiar. Her reflection seemed to move independently, its eyes filled with a sinister gleam. The mirror revealed snippets of the sorcerer's life, a man who had once been kind and wise but had become consumed by his quest for immortality. The sorcerer's relentless pursuit had led him to make a pact with dark forces, trading his humanity for eternal life. The mirror's reflections showed his transformation from a noble mage into a twisted, malevolent entity. As Eliza watched, the sorcerer's ghostly form began to materialize behind her in the reflection. The sorcerer's eyes, now hollow and filled with torment, stared directly at her. In a chilling whisper, he spoke of his endless suffering and the cursed existence he now endured. Desperate to escape, Eliza tried to leave, but the tower seemed to shift and twist, trapping her within its labyrinthine halls. The walls closed in, and shadows danced menacingly around her. The sorcerer's anguished cries echoed through the tower, growing louder with each passing moment. In a final act of desperation, Eliza grabbed a vial of salt she had found among the artifacts and sprinkled it around herself, creating a protective barrier. As the sorcerer's ghost reached out, the salt barrier held, forcing him back. Eliza stumbled out of the tower, breathless and shaken. As the tower's doors slammed shut behind her, the forest outside seemed less menacing as she fled back to the village. The tower remained a looming presence in the distance, a reminder of the sorcerer's tragic fate. Eliza's curiosity had revealed the dark truth, but it had also shown her the price of delving into forbidden knowledge. From that day on, the villagers spoke of Eliza's encounter with the sorcerer in hushed tones. The tower stood silent, its secrets hidden once more, and the sorcerer's life remained a dark legend, a cautionary tale of the perils of unchecked ambition. Years passed since Eliza's harrowing encounter with the sorcerer. The village had changed, growing and thriving. But the tale of the sorcerer's tower remained a chilling reminder of the past. Eliza, now a renowned scholar, had never forgotten the night she had escaped the cursed tower. Her research into dark magic had led her to discover more about the sorcerer's tragic fate. One fateful evening, Eliza received a mysterious package. Inside was an ancient, ornate key and a note written in faded ink: "The price of knowledge is never paid in full." Intrigued and alarmed, Eliza couldn't shake the feeling that her past had come back to haunt her. Her research suggested that the sorcerer's spirit had been restless, and the key was rumored to unlock something significant, a potential gateway between the mortal world and the realm of the sorcerer's curse. Unable to resist the lure of the mystery, Eliza returned to the forest. The tower stood as a dark silhouette against the twilight sky. With trembling hands, she inserted the key into the ancient lock on the tower's massive doors. The lock clicked, and the doors creaked open, revealing the dark, winding corridors within. This time, Eliza was prepared. She carried protective charms and a newly acquired spellbook to counteract dark magic. As she ventured deeper into the tower, the oppressive atmosphere seemed to grow heavier. The walls, once just dusty and forgotten, were now alive with malevolent energy. The same mirror she had seen years before was now in the center of the room, but it was no longer fogged. It gleamed with an unsettling light. In the reflection, the sorcerer's figure materialized once more, but this time he looked different. His eyes were fiery with rage, and his form was more solid. The sorcerer began to speak, his voice a low, menacing growl. "You seek to undo what cannot be undone. The pact I made has bound me forever. You, too, will be part of my torment." Eliza quickly recited a protection incantation from the spellbook, but it seemed to have little effect. The sorcerer's spirit began to materialize fully, his form taking on a ghastly, spectral visage. The room warped and twisted, making Eliza's escape routes unclear. As the sorcerer's form lunged towards her, Eliza remembered the key and the note. Desperately, she tried to decipher its meaning. The note hinted at an ancient ritual, a way to end the sorcerer's curse. Eliza needed to find the hidden chamber mentioned in the spellbook, where the ritual could be performed. Navigating the shifting corridors, Eliza found the hidden chamber at the tower's deepest level. The room was filled with eerie, glowing runes and an altar at its center. She placed the key on the altar and began the ritual, chanting the incantations she had learned. The sorcerer's enraged spirit attacked, but Eliza's focus was unwavering. As she completed the final words of the ritual, a blinding light filled the chamber. The sorcerer's wails grew distant, and the tower began to crumble. Eliza barely escaped as the tower collapsed behind her, burying the sorcerer's spirit and breaking the curse once and for all. Returning to the village, Eliza was greeted with awe and relief. The dark shadow that had loomed over them was gone. The sorcerer's story became a legend not of terror but of triumph over darkness. Eliza's bravery was celebrated, and she continued her studies, now with a renewed sense of purpose. The tower's ruins were left untouched, a somber monument to the sorcerer's tragic life and a reminder of the price of tampering with forces beyond human understanding. Eliza's story was one of courage, the perils of forbidden knowledge, and the power of redemption. Years had gone by since Eliza had freed the village from the sorcerer's curse. The ruins of the tower had become overgrown with ivy and wildflowers, almost blending back into the forest. The village thrived in peace, but whispers of the sorcerer's dark magic lingered, now as a distant memory. Eliza had grown older and wiser, her hair streaked with silver from countless nights spent in study. She had become a respected figure, known for her knowledge of ancient spells and rituals. Despite her success, she felt a lingering unease, as if a shadow still hovered over her. One crisp autumn evening, a stranger arrived in the village. He was a tall, enigmatic man named Rowan, with piercing green eyes and an aura of mystery. Rowan sought out Eliza, claiming to have important information about the sorcerer and the key she had used years ago. Rowan revealed that he was a descendant of the sorcerer, burdened by the same curse that had plagued his ancestor. He explained that while Eliza had broken the immediate curse, remnants of the sorcerer's dark magic had seeped into the land, infecting it slowly. Rowan had spent his life searching for a way to cleanse the land completely and finally free his family from the curse's shadow. Reluctant but determined, Eliza agreed to help Rowan. Together, they delved into ancient texts and consulted with mystics from distant lands. Their research led them to a forgotten legend: the sorcerer had bound a piece of his soul to an artifact hidden deep within the forest, an artifact that had to be destroyed to end the curse once and for all. The artifact was said to be protected by a series of traps and dark enchantments, designed to deter any who sought it. Armed with knowledge and powerful spells, Eliza and Rowan set out on their quest. The forest seemed to resist their presence, the air growing thick with an oppressive energy as they ventured deeper. After days of perilous travel, they found a hidden cave concealed by ancient magic. Inside, they faced numerous trials: hallucinatory illusions, treacherous terrain, and sinister creatures summoned by the sorcerer's lingering magic. Despite the dangers, Eliza and Rowan pressed on, their resolve unwavering. In the heart of the cave, they discovered the artifact, a dark crystal pulsating with malevolent energy. Rowan explained that the crystal was a vessel for the sorcerer's fragmented soul, and destroying it would release the final vestiges of his dark power. Eliza began the ritual to destroy the crystal, but as she chanted the incantation, the cave trembled. The sorcerer's spirit, desperate and enraged, manifested once more. Rowan and Eliza fought against the dark entity, using every ounce of their magical prowess. The sorcerer's spirit was formidable, but together, they managed to weaken it. With a final, resounding incantation, Eliza shattered the crystal. A blinding light filled the cave, and the sorcerer's anguished scream echoed through the forest before fading into silence. The oppressive energy lifted, replaced by a serene calm. Exhausted but victorious, Eliza and Rowan returned to the village. The curse was finally broken, and the land began to heal. Rowan decided to stay, helping the village thrive and becoming a close friend to Eliza. The story of the sorcerer's life, now complete, became a legend of perseverance, courage, and redemption. The village celebrated Eliza and Rowan, honoring their bravery and the peace they had restored. Eliza's legacy was one of wisdom and strength, a reminder that even the darkest curses could be broken with determination and unity.